Hey there! If you are an ICF member, the following information might be relevant to you because the ICF has new rules of accreditation. The ICF now requires you to complete a one-question quiz so that you can get the CC units for it. So, after you reviewed this session recording, simply scroll down to the session resources below and find a one-question quiz. Please complete it and you will make sure that you will receive the CC units for this session recording. And if you already attended this session live and are simply rewatching this session recording, you've already been granted the CC units for it and you don't need to complete a one-question quiz. Also, here is a tutorial on how to get the most out of our new video player. Click on the CC button to turn on the captions. Click on the search button, enter a specific keyword, and then click on the preferred result. And you will be taken to the part of the video where your keyword is mentioned. Click here to download raw transcripts. And if you are a premium member, head over here for the downloadable audio. That's it from me. Hope you enjoy this session.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. Today's session is Client Magnet, Mastering LinkedIn to Grow Your Coaching Business with Diana Y.K. Chan, and I'll introduce her in just a moment. To get the conversation going, go ahead and open up the Q&A box if you haven't already. Let me know where you're connecting in from and how often do you use LinkedIn? So let's see, we've got William from the UK. Let's see, I'll make sure I pronounce, I'm not going to pronounce it right. I'm sorry. Xining is in from Taipei. We got Sunny, New York. Agatha is from Winnipeg. Bikram from Austin. Ed from Memphis. Anuradha is in from Mumbai. Rick in from Chicago. Thank you. Emmanuel from Lagos has shared his LinkedIn. So let's see who's answered. Humberto says he's from Brazil and he uses LinkedIn, but not on a regular basis. Felicia uses LinkedIn almost daily. Graciela uses it for reading daily. Interesting. I guess we could have asked how you're using it as well, but we'll get there more. And Claudia from Munich. I was just sharing in the green room. I was one of the first 57,000 members of LinkedIn, so I still use it daily. In order to gain the most value out of today's session, I recommend that you turn off all distractions, prepare to take notes, and allow yourself to be fully focused and engaged with our speaker today. We've got 60 minutes together, and you're likely going to be taking a ton of notes. My name is David Taylor Klaus. I'll be your host today. And we also have Mercy in the background, thankfully handling all of the technical issues and keeping everything rolling smoothly. Our coaching mastery session with Diana will last for 60 minutes. And after a wrap up, we invite you to stay in the same webinar for the implementation mastery sessions. Now they'll start 10 minutes after this main session ends. On the IM sessions, you'll meet with like-minded coaches in small facilitator-led groups. You'll get a chance to share your key takeaways and collaborate on how to apply them with your clients, in your practice, and in your life. IM sessions last for 50 minutes in total. To join one, simply stay on the webinar, enjoy your 10-minute break, and then you'll be put into a breakout room with your peers. If you have any questions about joining an IM session, please post them in the Q&A box, and Mercy will be happy to help you out. Okay, now let me introduce the speaker for today, Diana. Diana Y.K. Chan, a renowned business coach and speaker, specializes in elevating coaches and creators from invisible to irresistible online. With over a decade in career coaching, she empowers clients to scale influential online businesses and emerge as industry leaders. Recognized as one of Canada's top 100 creators on LinkedIn, a top LinkedIn expert, and a top personal branding expert, Diana shares her expertise globally, including as a LinkedIn learning instructor and a speaker for the UN. And the fun facts that she's shared with me is she walked on fire twice from Tony Robbins training and went skydiving over the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. And with that, the stage is yours, Diana.
Amazing, amazing. Shout out to David for the awesome kickoff. And thank you so much, coaching.com, for having me. I am so honored and delighted to be here with you all today. So, are you ready and excited to leverage LinkedIn to get more leads, get more clients, and get more sales? If so, type in a +1 in the Q&A chat here. Welcome to today's training on mastering LinkedIn to grow your coaching business. Let me know, what type of coaching business are you in? All right, so here's what to expect today. What I'm going to cover today is I'm going to talk about why use LinkedIn for business, what are the common mistakes, and what are your common business growth challenges. And then we're going to walk into how to optimize your LinkedIn profile to attract your ideal clients, lead generation techniques to turn connections into clients, and then proven content strategies to showcase your expertise to build authority. All right, so if you're excited, type in a +1. Make sure if you want to chime in the conversation, ask any questions, you type into the Q&A chat room here, okay? All right, so I have a question, a poll that I'm going to pull up here is, are you using LinkedIn for business growth? Let me know, select yes or no. And while we're waiting as well, this poll, yeah, type in the poll here. Are you using, oh, that's not the right poll. This is the other poll here. Are you using LinkedIn for business growth? Yes or no? Let me know. You select that yes or no. Yes. And let me know in the chat as well what type of coaching business that you have as well. Okay, I see Sabrina's an executive coach here. Yes. Okay, so select that and let us know. All right, let's see what the results are once they come in. Are you using LinkedIn for business growth? I've been using LinkedIn for over a decade. I was a former recruiter turned career coach, now a business coach. And so I have seen millions of LinkedIn profiles. All right, let's see. What are the results here? What the results come in? We see the results come in here for the poll. Let's see. All right. Okay. It's almost like a split here. 58% of you use LinkedIn for business growth. 42% of you do not use LinkedIn yet. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about why use LinkedIn for business. I want to build a quick business case here of why use LinkedIn for a business. 5 reasons. Number 1 is for brand visibility, where you get to showcase your expertise and services to a relevant audience, enhancing brand recognition and credibility. Second is really on thought leadership, where you get to establish yourself as an industry expert by sharing insights, trends, and valuable content. Third is lead generation, where you can utilize advanced search and content features to attract and engage potential clients, driving more lead gen there. One of my favorite one is professional network access. LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network with over 1 billion members. You get to access a global network of professionals, enabling you to target for networking and business development. And lastly, market research. You gain insights into market trends, competitor activities, and potential customer needs, informing your business strategy. Now, some powerful stats of why LinkedIn is great for business is that LinkedIn users have twice the buying power than the average online audience. Half of the LinkedIn users earn more than $75,000 a year. The largest age group on LinkedIn is between 25 to 35 years old, making up to about 60% of its user base. In addition, about 20% of the users are between 18 and 24. And 52% of LinkedIn users have a college degree. Second powerful stat is that LinkedIn is 3 times more effective at generating high-quality leads more than other major platforms. So this means better quality, more ideal clients, more fulfilling clients to serve, which is also more fun. Third is better conversion. Users who see a business content on LinkedIn are 6 times more likely to purchase from that brand because of the know, like, and trust factor. All right, so I'm going to share with you a little bit of why I love using LinkedIn. I joined LinkedIn back in 2004. This is when it first started. And I really got into using it back in 2009 when I was a recruiter for Google and also a top MBA school here in Canada. So I was really using it actively. And because of LinkedIn, I have doubled my business year over year, serving clients globally and also really, attracting a lot of unexpected opportunities, speaking, coaching, media opportunities. Also building a global network with lifelong friends. Because of LinkedIn, this is like me being a creator here, as because of constantly putting myself out there, I was able to attract a speaking opportunity at the UN where I've spoken for them 7 times. And because of that opportunity that I posted about, it attracted me to become I got invited to become a LinkedIn learning instructor back in 2022. And then last year, I got approved for 10 more courses. So I now have 11 courses that I'm serving worldwide now here of learners. And because of LinkedIn, I've also been featured on the LinkedIn CEOs podcast, been featured on their LinkedIn Get Hired podcast as well, and also done recently a career talks to like 20,000 people who signed up for the talk on how to build a brand and pivot your career in 2024. So this is why I love LinkedIn. All right, so let's talk about some common LinkedIn mistakes here. What are the common ones? And I'm going to talk about some of the tips afterwards. Number one is that lack of brand and authority, not positioning yourself clearly as an expert in your niche. Number two is the incomplete profile, where you're missing the key elements like a strong headline, the about section, or professional banner. The third is having a small network, not proactively growing your connections with potential clients and influencers. From my experience, networking is one of the most challenging things that I often hear from my clients of how to really build a network to attract leads or to get referral business. And then lastly is not active, no content, inconsistent presence with little to no content creation or engagement. Okay, so now I want to ask you is what's your biggest business growth challenge? Out of the 3 here in terms of growing your business, what are the one that's your biggest? Is it lead generation, lead nurturing, lead conversion? And we'll have a poll here for you to select what's your biggest business growth challenge. Take a look. Yes, the poll just came up. Yeah. I'm just going to look at some of the comments here. Okay. All right. Love it. See a lot of executive coaches here. Welcome, welcome. Personal health coach, fundraising executives. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okay. All right. All 3 apply to you. Okay, let me see. Okay, 75% indicated lead generation is the biggest challenge. So this is the top of funnel, getting leads coming in, which is around the brand building, authority building. 27% is the lead nurturing, so which is the middle of the funnel. How do we nurture them? And then the 30% is lead conversion, which is around the sales and closing the client there. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Okay, thank you for sharing those challenges there. Typically, I would say lead generation is typically the biggest one that I hear. And this is where we start from, really around building the brand on LinkedIn there. So I want to share with you my 4 guiding principles of standout strategies. Like this is something I really believe in that I've been teaching for years now on how to really stand out to attract more opportunities. And from there, I'm going to guide you through my LinkedIn brand method to get more clients. So the first is around elevating your marketability to showcase your unique value and expertise clearly. This is where you can also hone in your skill as a coach to be an in-demand coach. Like what's that skill that makes you unique and different? The second is around boosting your visibility, really putting yourself out there, consistently showing up, networking, engaging with your audience. And the third is building your credibility, where you demonstrate your expertise through content, testimonials, and achievements that will all elevate the credibility. And then lastly is to enhance your relatability. Share an authentic stories that connect with your audience on a personal level. So these are the guiding principles that I really live by. I really believe they're at the heart of building a strong LinkedIn presence that not only attracts opportunities, but converts them into real business growth. I'll share with you a quick recent win story that I'm really proud of and really speaks about the power of your brand online and reputation. I recently closed an executive coaching client to help him land a CEO role. And the way I got this was actually because of all the years of building my brand on LinkedIn. My former client from over 10 years ago recommended him to me. And a big part was because of all these wins that they've been seeing throughout LinkedIn over the years that made this client hire me there. So this really speaks about the power of using a platform like this to attract unexpected clients there. Okay, so before I'm going to move into this, how to build your LinkedIn brand to get clients, I'm going to quickly look at some questions. I think there were some quick questions that I can quickly answer. That someone asked, how do you become a top LinkedIn voice? That is a great question, which ties into this content piece. For me, I really believe how I got LinkedIn Top Voice in 2022 was because I started sharing not only expertise content, but also sharing more of my own story, my upbringing, my challenges, my struggles, really opening up, being more vulnerable and authentic. And that following year led to becoming a LinkedIn Top Voice there while sharing the expertise content and doing more collaborations. The LinkedIn Top Voice, the blue badge that you see, it's different from the gold badge for the community top voice. The community top voice is much easier to get, which I'll talk about later as well, is where you can contribute to the AI collaborative articles, whereas the LinkedIn top voice blue badge, it's a much smaller population who have it. It's really consistent content creation throughout the year to build your brand and authority there. Okay. All right. Yeah, someone asked what presentation tool I use. Yes, the tool I use right now is called Prezi, Prezi.com there. It's really different from a PowerPoint slide. That's why you see me here. Okay, so let's move into this piece on, oops, what just happened here? How to build your brand on LinkedIn. Okay, so then I'm going to walk you through my LinkedIn brand method. This is what I'm going to guide you through here. So first is the B, which is all about building a magnetic profile for your target audience. R is to reach out and grow your network intentionally. A, amplify your authority with content. N, nurture relationships with meaningful engagement. And D is to drive conversion with strategic calls to action. So this is what I'm going to be walking you through the brand method. If you like, I'm going to take a moment. If you want to just take a screenshot of this, for those who want to just take a screenshot, I'll give you a moment and I'll move into the next section here. All right, so I'm going to cover the brand method on how to get more clients. Okay, so the first is the B, building a magnetic profile for your target audience. Did you know that you are 40 times more likely to receive opportunities with an optimized profile? 40 times, that is huge. This is why this is the foundation to building a strong brand. Number one, you want to craft a client-centric headline and about section where you speak directly to who you help, how you help them, and the results you deliver. Right? So I want to ask you, like, who is your target audience? What is your niche? Right? When you think about the business you're in, the coaching that you do, who do you really serve? Type in the Q&A here to let me know, right? Who is that? It all starts from there because you want to speak to your audience to magnetize, to attract them into your following, your audience, into your DMs there. That's the first piece. Number two is to design a professional and captivating banner. So this is really around that branding piece, the packaging. You can use this space to highlight your unique value proposition and to really have a great branding visual to engage with your audience. The third is to showcase credibility with testimonials and key achievements. You can use the feature section and experience section to highlight client successes and your expertise. I'm going to share with you some examples as case studies, okay, of what I mean here. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make with their LinkedIn profile is really using it as more an online resume of what they've done versus how they can help their clients or audience. So it's really putting on that marketing hat of who is my audience, What are their pain points? What do they care about? And how can I best serve them? So when we start thinking from that lens, the way you write your profile would be very different. It's less about you, but more about them. So I'll give you a case study here. My client here, Erica, she doubled her monthly sales and attracting her dream clients with an elevated LinkedIn profile. So as you can see here, like the before transformation, what she had here, and then the after transformation. And one of the key things we did was one, getting clear on her niche of who does she serve, right? Getting really clear that serving like mid-level senior professionals to break into new roles and advance their careers. And in her banner section, she talks about, I help you propel your career forward, which has like a method, a methodology, a framework of how she'll get clients results of the journey there. And in her about section, she elaborates further of that method. So that's something that she did. And now she's attracting like more of those her dream clients now. And when you think about when you attract more of your dream clients, the conversion becomes a lot easier, right? Because you're really clear on who you serve. Another profile here is my other client, Maya here, who has over 100,000 followers. And the way she stands out is that she has very specific messaging, credible social proof, and a crystal clear offering that speaks directly to her target audience. So you can see here in her banner, breakthrough to executive roles. So she's a career coach, but executive career coach and helping people get into executive roles, helping them in professionals in tech level up into senior manager, director, and VP roles. So very, very specific of who she serves. And what I love about it in her services section, this is something you can turn on. A lot of people don't use this, but if you're in business, you want to turn the service section on as well, where you can add testimonials. So in this case, she added her video testimonials with specific messaging here of going from director to VP, underappreciated to rock star, no clear path to clarity. So very captivating there. And under her feature section, she showcases her program. 13-week coaching program to make you executive ready. So a very, very clear offering there. Okay. So I'm going to also share with you my example, and I'll go into LinkedIn as well. Flip into this. I'll show you here is if you look at my section, I'll show you here is I also have in my services page, like video testimonials in my feature section of ways to work with me there. So the goal here is you want to turn your LinkedIn profile into a magnetic sales page. Right. So instead of thinking of traditional, this is like an online resume where I just indicate the things that I've done in the past, you really want to put on the hat of a marketer and a salesperson and really think about your audience of what do they care about. Okay, so let me see if I can share my screen here quickly. I'll share with you, go in here of my profile here. You can see, so we can see here like the banner, right, that we talked about. Right, how to become an in-demand coach with an influential brand online. So this is like your marketing soundbite that you can use over and over, right? And then in your headline, one of the key things of the headline is most people just put their job title. You can use that as well, but you really want to think about what are some what we call impact statements, value prop statements, credibility statements. Anything that you can quantify to qualify would be very impactful. Okay, to add. And this is something you can tweak. Like I play around with this every quarter or so. So this is a great way to tweak of what works there. And then in the about section, this is where what I call the prime real estate. By default, most people will have maybe like a one-liner of X years of experience with expertise in this. This is very, very boring. You really want to turn it into like a conversation starter. So you can really think about highlighting a bit of who you are, who you help, what you offer, proven success, the social proof, your journey approach, what's your methodology, your credentials to give you also that credibility. Going back to that standout strategy principle is you want to elevate the credibility, right? And the marketability to be in demand. So this is a section that most people don't turn on, but if you are in business, I highly recommend turning this services section on, because when you look at it, after the about section, it goes into the services section of what you offer. I would argue when just through a lot of my research, most people don't have this, but when you have it, it stands out. So what you can do here is you can add testimonials, right? You can have written testimonials as an image, or you can do video testimonials. So in my case, I have videos and I just link them through the YouTube here. Okay. You can also get people to add in a review, a testimonial, get a client to submit a review, right? Currently, they have up to 20 that you can have in there. Okay. And then in your feature section, this is like one of my favorite sections is the feature section where you can have anything, whether it's book a call with you, share a bit about your program, your offerings. You can also have testimonials in here as well. You can also have, if you have the premium version of LinkedIn, you can also add the recommendations that's below the profile into here so that it's more prominent out there. Okay. Now, this is my other favorite section that most people underutilize. This is what I call prime real estate space. In the experience section, instead of default of your online resume of what you've done in the past, think of being a marketer, right? Of who are you attracting. So most people will put a job title, right? By default, right? This is what I used to do as well. But this, as I do more of these helping clients, is we look at, okay, what's something that's going to catch their eye? So in my case, it would be build a six-figure business with top personal branding expert, LinkedIn expert, and business growth strategist. So you can see here that I still have my title, and then you add in your accolades or credentials, and then you have what we call a goal or a value prop statement. Okay, so then essentially then you can talk about your offering, of what you offer, what it does, and then give a little bit more info about you there. Okay. And what I love is most people don't do this is you can also add media here, which is videos. So in this case, I have like a free resource, like free videos that people can watch my content to really build a know, like, and trust factor there. Okay. Yeah, like here you can add a lot of testimonials. So it's something most people don't do, but when you do it, this is really going to elevate the whole visual aspect of it there. Okay. And you can see here, even for me, I have as a LinkedIn instructor, I add all my courses here as well that people just click on out there. Okay. What else I wanted to share? Okay, so this section, skills section, I highly recommend also identifying your top skills, even like your top 10. You can go up to, I think, 50, 60 skills. The reason being you want to have your skills section is really for search engine optimization purpose, is to help you to be more searchable and found there. Okay, so that's something I do recommend having. And then this one, the recommendation section, it's great to get testimonials. So one of my best advice is that if you're serving clients, ask them to give you a review, a recommendation on LinkedIn. Or if you're a speaker and you give talks or a trainer, after every talk, ask them to also give you that recommendation. Okay, so over the years, you see I've accumulated over almost 200 of them there. Okay, so that's a little bit about the review of the profile. So I saw a question here is, should we go for LinkedIn Premium? That's a great question. That is a great question. I get this question all the time. So I would say if you plan on using LinkedIn actively, meaning that you want to network with people and to search for leads and get more clients, it's great to have that. But if you're just using it more for viewing and really more like researching, you don't really need it. The purpose of having LinkedIn Premium are a few things. Number one, you have more in-mail credits, meaning you can reach out to more people. Number two is you also have more, more search functions, capabilities, and you can search more people. Because with the free version, once you do a lot of searches, you'll hit a cap and you no longer can search until the next month there. So that's the benefit of having LinkedIn Premium. The other benefit I would say is if you want to feature any testimonials in the feature section, that is a premium feature there. Okay. All right. Okay, the other question, Sales Navigator. I get that asked a lot as well. Do I recommend Sales Navigator? I've used it as well. It is, I would say, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is designed for those who are really hardcore in sales. So meaning if I've seen some folks where if you hire, let's say, an agency to help you generate a lot of leads, they do require you having Sales Navigator. And essentially the difference between Premium and Sales Navigator is you have more search capabilities. It is a little bit more, robust, a bit also clunky, meaning if you're not familiar with how to do search functions, like the Boolean search strings of searching for leads, you don't really need it. But if you plan on doing like if you want to generate hundreds of leads on a monthly basis, definitely then having Sales Navigator, it's good there. I personally don't use it. I've tried it. I find it's almost like a bit too robust for my needs there. I just have the premium version there. You're welcome. Okay, so let's move on. So the next is the R here, which is all about reaching out and grow your network intentionally. So 3 tips is that you want to connect intentionally with potential clients and influencers, focusing on quality connections that align with your business goals. Personalize your outreach. You get to stand out by referencing mutual interests, finding common ground, or specific content in your connection requests. I get tons of requests daily. I right now have outstanding like 800 requests there in my invite. And those who actually write a personalized message really, truly stand out and get a response much faster. The third is to engage regularly, right? This is where you can stay active in your network by liking, commenting, and sharing content that resonates with your audience. I always say is that you want to make it conversational, not transactional. You can acknowledge, be curious, and find commonality. So here's the thing. Active LinkedIn users who network see 10 times more profile views when you're active. And this is because, I don't know if you know this, every time you make a comment on a post, your network sees it, the creator's network sees it, those who liked or commented on that post also see it as well. So this is a huge visibility factor there, right? So even if you're not creating content yet, but you start commenting on other people's content, people in your network see it and their network sees it. Okay, so that's a great way to start. Yes, conversational, not transactional. Okay, so let's move on here. Let me share with you a case study. My friend here, Daniel, he's also a fellow career coach and business coach. He's built a 7-figure business with 90% of leads coming from LinkedIn. And him and his team connects with 100 plus warm leads per week. 100 plus warm leads per week. And the way they do it, and this is where it's just like a really brilliant approach. Like this is like the balance between inbound versus outbound marketing. So a lot of times most people will wait for an inbound that comes in, like someone inquiring about your coaching service. Majority of do that. Like, put in the comment if you only do inbound marketing where you're waiting for people to come in. His philosophy is really believing in doing outbound as well. Like, you can make up another 50% of your business through outbound marketing. And so the way we look at it is essentially looking at people who follow, like, or comment in your content to see if they are your potential leads or clients there, right? So this is what we call doing more research, right? Those who like your content, who comment on it, study the profile. And this is the benefit of LinkedIn versus other platforms is you can quickly screen, like a recruiter, whether they are a potential fit or not, right? So then they have a system, a CRM, essentially to track all that there, okay? So that is something you could do is to really doing also more proactive outreach. Now, the next is the A, which is all about amplifying your authority with content. Only 1.1% of the users create content on LinkedIn. This means it's a massive opportunity for you to stand out as a thought leader in your niche just by showing up consistently. Okay. Top 1% as you start creating content. Okay, so here are a few tips here is to number one, be strategic with your messaging. Align your content with your brand and clients' needs, positioning yourself as the go-to expert. Second, you can utilize AI for content ideas and inspiration. Leverage AI tools like ChatGPT to draft posts, to maximize also your productivity while maintaining your authentic voice. So this is something I really leverage ever since it's launched now, that I can create 50 to 100 pieces of content really quickly once I map out what I want to do. It's a great tool to have. So I'll share with you a quick story. While I was in Mexico for vacation a couple of weeks ago, I got my hair done and all that. And I was like, I want to create these video content. And so I quickly identified the themes I want to write. And I'm really big on self-care. So I used AI and asked, like, help me come up with like 50 quotes that it's around self-care, downtime, relaxation in order to help with business growth. And I had like these 50 quotes and I recorded it through a teleprompter app. And within 20 minutes, I got all those videos done and I sent it to my virtual assistant to edit. And so now I have 3 to 6 months worth of video content that I can use on top of all the other content that I create there. The third is to share a mix of content types and formats where you can combine things such as videos, images, quotes, posts, articles to engage with your audience there. So, fun fact, videos get 5 times more engagement on LinkedIn. So I'm going to really share with you a few things to think about in terms of the type of content to create. This is really the content strategy. Instead of having that winging it random, I want to teach you a strategy of how you can create content. Okay. So the first is what we call the visibility content, which is really sharing your point of view. So this is where you can really attract a broader audience if you want to really grow your audience and following, is to have what we call point of view content. Or this is what some people call the viral content, where you stir things up, that you have an opinion about something there. The second is what we call the nurturing trust content. This is where you share your expertise. So anything that's related to how to do this, how to fix this, how to solve this is really great of expertise content. So for example, how I got to become top personal branding expert in Canada 2 years in a row is because I've doubled down on sharing content on personal branding. How I've been able to get my most popular talks on branding and networking is because I doubled down on creating content around that. So that's really the expertise content. The third is what we call the converting content, right? What that means is that they will either DM you, book a call with you, inquire your services. So you want to create what we call case studies content, testimonials content, training, value add type of content there that will lead them into the next thing, right? You can host like a webinar or masterclass. Those are what we call conversion content. I know from experience that every time that I write a case study or do a testimonial, it always leads to an inquiry and leads to more sales calls there. So most people don't do enough of that, but when you start doing more of that, it's basically showcasing the results you deliver for your clients and whether they can trust you. Okay? And when you think about all this type of content, is they want to know how you think, what you know, what can you do for them, and whether they can relate to you. And which speaks about the last piece of content, the relatability content, which is really the storytelling content, right? Storytelling content is really either telling your own stories or other people's stories. I really believe that's part of how led me to become a LinkedIn top voice, where I talked about my upbringing, coming from Hong Kong, overcoming the language barrier, my culture shock, the shyness, just really getting vulnerable about that, and even how I was not confident growing up. I was not a born speaker. I was, really shy, had a softest voice in class. I would share all those stories so that it's more relatable, that people can really connect you to you there. Okay. Someone asked here, how many hours a week are you spending to put into content? That's a great question. So I think one of my best advice is, like, when you're first starting out, especially when you're just doing it on your own, one of the things is create a habit of every day, give yourself 20, 30 minutes of writing. Write every day. You're gonna get better and better at it. And as you grow, and if you have an assistant to help you, this is where you can delegate to help you with content. So for me now, I would say like couple hours a week, but then I also have my team of assistants who help me with the design, the scheduling, the posting, and the writing as well. So that has saved me a lot of time. But when you're first starting out, I would say dedicate 20 to 30 minutes a day to creating a content. And that will just, you get a habit and to become a better speaker and writer as well. Okay. So here's my pro tip to elevate your credibility. So it's to contribute to LinkedIn AI's collaborative articles to earn a community top voice badge. This is something relatively new that was just launched last year in the summer. So what it is these various topics that you can contribute to. So my client, Erica, she earned the top career development voice badge by contributing 2 to 3 articles per day for just 2 weeks. And that's how she earned it. And part of her strategy, she told me, was that she found articles or topics that aren't really contributed yet. So not a lot of people are talking about it yet. And so that helped there. According to the LinkedIn guidelines, you need to contribute to at least 3 articles to earn a top voice badge. Now, keep in mind, with the community top voice badge, you get it for 60 days. So meaning that you want to continue to contribute if you want to continue to keep that community voice badge there. And you can earn more than one. But that is a great way to elevate that instant credibility when people see that you are a top voice in your particular area there. Okay. My other tip here is to amplify visibility. So I mentioned earlier how video gets 5 times more engagement. So my client Shab here, she had over 500,000 impressions with just one viral video recently. Honestly, just start if this is something you want to do right now. It's a prime time to create video content because recently LinkedIn launched a video icon in the app there where it's almost like similar to Instagram and TikTok, where you can scroll through videos really quickly to get discovered and for people to follow you. So now is a great time to start creating video content. I've actually given in a challenge to all my clients the last several months to start creating video content there, right? So you can just use your mobile phone to record. You can also use a teleprompter app. It's called Teleprompter. It's an orange app that you can download on your mobile, and you can add a script to it if you like, and then record it that way. Okay. So someone asked, that tool that I use for video would be the Teleprompter app for adding your script there. How many contributions per week? Anna, is up to you. Like my client did like 2 to 3. I think she did 2 to 3 per day for 2 weeks. But I think most people do like 1 a day for like, I had some folks I know who did it for 1 month, 1 a day per month and got it. Yeah. So you just have to test it out to see what works for you. And now, mind you, also keep in mind, it also depends on whether you've started creating content or not, right? Like one of the philosophy is that you need to also start not just contributing AI articles, but also think about your own organic type of content to create like as a foundation and then to build on that there. Okay, so here's another case study, another really fun, proud case study of mine of Jean here. Jean built a 6-figure business within 6 months of quitting her corporate job, and she doubled her followers up to 85,000 followers in just 8 months. And right now she gets about 3.8 million impressions per month, which means the number of people who view her content per month, which is huge. Most people don't get that number, 3.8 million in a year. And so what's been amazing is she's really doubled down on content creation for the last several years. And so this is why I'm so passionate about building your LinkedIn brand and presence while she was still in corporate and while she was planning to leave her job to build her business. She started building her brand, and that has led her to brand partnership deals, becoming a LinkedIn Learn Instructor multiple times, and then eventually having sold out coaching programs there. And so this is why I really believe in the power of LinkedIn. And one of the apps that I recommend here is called the Clio tool app. It's free. Essentially, you can add it as an extension in Chrome where you can research and discover popular LinkedIn content for inspiration. So once you install it, what it does is that you can look at what are your most popular posts that you do, and also you can look at the most popular posts by other creators as well. So this is a great research tool to help you with content ideas. All right, so now we're moving to the end, the second last one of the brand method, which is all about nurturing relationships with meaningful engagement. Users who engage with other people's posts see also a 4 times increase in profile views, right? It's all about building the know, like, and trust factor. So first is you want to follow up with value-driven interactions. Keep the conversation going with personalized messages, resource, or insights. You can also host or collaborate on interactive sessions such as LinkedIn Live and LinkedIn Audio. Third is to make introductions and share opportunities. This is also a great way to actively stay in touch with your network where you can share, opportunities to let them know that you're thinking about them. And this is what I love about LinkedIn, especially that, there's also like job boards there. You can share about an opportunity. People love that when you're thinking about them there. And that's a great way to stay in touch. My philosophy of networking to deepen the relationship is start with the DMs. Start with the commenting in the content, then slide into DMs, right, to acknowledge what you learned liked about them, then take some sort of call to action to attend a webinar, right, and then set up like a meeting with them, right, whether it's a networking meeting or a discovery call or a sales call. That would be the formula, the funnel of how to essentially nurture that relationship, right? For those who are having trouble, is you need to follow up to close there. All right, so here's another case study. My friend Tiffany Uman, and also another client who attended my mastermind recently, she scaled her business to a 7-figure business with weekly LinkedIn Lives. She now does it 2 times a week, weekly newsletters 2 times a week, and masterclasses to deepen trust. So on a monthly basis. So this is a great strategy if you really want to what we call the lead nurturing, deepen that know, like, and trust factor and the credibility, right? So really think about other ways beyond, like, once you build your following on a platform like LinkedIn, how can you continue to deepen that trust there? So LinkedIn Live is something we all have access to if you turn on the creator mode. So she does like Q&A weekly now, answering people's questions in today's job market out there. And the newsletter talks a lot about client wins and case studies and best advice, best practices. So that's really elevating the credibility to that next level out there. Okay. All right. Where are we now? Oops. Let me just see. Oh. Okay. Yes. All right, so almost done here. So the final here is the D, which is all about driving the conversions with strategic calls to action, right? So now that we really got into nurturing, we want to essentially guide your audience to take the next step. Include clear call to action in your content, profile, and messages. You can use lead magnets to capture interest, implement my ACE approach in sales conversations. So what I mean by that, the ACE approach is acknowledge their pain points to show that you understand them, that you hear them. Second is the C, which is clearly connect how your solution addresses their specific needs. How can you help them? And then the E is explain the transformation that they can expect from working with you, right? What's that transformation out there? So here's another case study. Another client of mine, Katy here, she within 2 years of starting her coaching business, scaled to a 7-figure business in 2 years with LinkedIn as the primary tool. And what I love about here, if you look at here, is in her feature section, she has 3 what I call strategic call to action, right? She has a very clear banner of who she helps, helping women reach the executive ranks, right, to become executives. And her 3 call to actions, she has a masterclass that she is just delivered, right? That's first one, the feature section. And then she have what we call free promotion resource, right? And then a free quiz. So when you think about this, she is also taking them off LinkedIn by building her email list so that she can deepen the relationship. She writes a newsletter every single week where her clients get to know more about her point of view, her best advice. And that's how she really also enrolls clients in a group setting. She does a group cohort based of a group coaching there. Here's another case study, is another call to action is Shab. You can see here how she added what we call like a book an appointment section. A lot of people don't do this. This is like a call to action that you can add in your profile there instead of going to your website. And she grew her business to over 20K months in just 6 weeks there, with over a dozen calls, sales calls per month. Now, mind you, obviously, you need to also have great content for people to be curious about, to click on your profile further, and then see that book appointment that will lead to a sales call there. Okay, so that's something you can do for most coaches if you're offering one-on-one coaching, is a simple book a call appointment there. And also you can see here for me as an example, I have, for example, instead of a sales call, it's a freebie, build your LinkedIn brand. So I offer a free checklist. So you can also give a valuable free resource as well in your domain expertise, right? That people can refer to and can learn from, right? And this is something that you can do for yourself as well. It's like, what is it that you want to give away out there? Okay? And this is like a great resource for those who want to, as a takeaway from today's training, a checklist of things that you can do there. The other is to showcase your expertise and scale your reach with free video content. I really believe for those who do executive coaching, who help with organizations that do speaking and training, video content is a great way to elevate your visibility and credibility. And so you can see here, like my list of LinkedIn learning courses, the way I did it was I also strategically pitch. You have to pitch yourself. Like first, you got to build your brand, to have the authority, have at least 10,000 followers. You're posting video content, actively building your network. And then what I did was strategically network with the people who manage the LinkedIn Learning nano courses there. And I pitched my topics. And the way I did it was I was thinking about how the type of talks I like to give, right? What do I get asked to speak about? And I strategically pitched those topics that I've already done or organizations have hired me for and turned it into a course there. And so that's something like a bigger, longer term goal. I know one of my most popular questions this past year from fellow coaches is how to become a LinkedIn Learn instructor. In order to get that, I would say you have to, one, definitely build a great brand with video content, because they want to see how you present on camera. That's the big thing, is it's part of like the audition process there. Okay. All right, so wrapping up the brand formula here of the B is to build a magnetic profile for your target audience. R is to reach out and grow your network intentionally. A is to amplify your authority with content. N is to nurture relationships with meaningful engagement. And D is to drive conversions with strategic calls to action. Type in a +1 if this was helpful today. All right, feel free to take a screenshot of this. Okay. All right. So I have a LinkedIn challenge for you. If you accept this challenge, type in the challenge accepted. I really want to have some actionable items that you can do to implement to make some immediate improvements. First, create a post with your key learnings and tag me in it. So if you learned something valuable today, write a post. What are your key learnings? Think of your 3 key takeaways. Make it skimmable. Keep it short. Okay. You can tag me in it as well. This will help you increase your visibility instantly already once I also see it there. Second, ask for 10 testimonials. This will elevate the credibility with the social proof. Third is to create 10 videos. So this is a challenge I give to all my clients: create 10 videos in the next month there. Don't worry about getting it perfect. When I first started in 2018 with videos, I did a 10 days, 10 tips video challenge, and that's how I got hooked in creating video content there. Fourth is create a list of 100 people to follow and engage with in content, right? So you don't need to get to 100 right away, but build that list. Like, who are the people that you admire, that you respect, your peers that you want to collaborate with, potential clients? Create a list of 100 people to follow. So one of the things that I learned is you can also follow people who either have a much bigger following, right? Because that'll also help increase the visibility and learn from them. And so follow people who are your peers, right, to help with collaborations there and support one another. And then also follow people who could be potential leads or clients there, right, to build that know, like, and trust factor. And lastly, start 10 DM conversations weekly. Start having these conversations, nurture, add value. Don't worry about selling or pitching at all. Like, really focus on getting to know them. You know, we're all coaches. Ask powerful questions. Get curious. Get to know them there, okay? If you're up for this challenge, type another +1 or challenge accepted. Feel free to take this screenshot. I see some of you here. Diane and William said challenge accepted. Okay. All right, challenge accepted. Amazing, amazing. This is my challenge for you. Like, you're going to see instant improvement just by making some of these changes. Okay, a lot of +1s. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so what's one word to describe how you're feeling from today's training? Type in the comment to let me know what's one word to describe how you're feeling from today's training. And I'm going to take a look at what questions we have as well. All right, amazing. All right, lots of challenge accepted. I love this. Okay, amazing, amazing. All right, what's one word to describe how you're feeling? Excited, motivated, inspired, and energized. All right, energized, overwhelmed. I know it can be overwhelming. LinkedIn can be overwhelming as well, but take baby steps, follow the brand formula, focus just on the profile first before you go into put into the content creation. Okay, because I know there's a lot of fears as well when it comes to putting yourself out there. Curious, okay, buzzed and excited to go. Amazing, amazing. Okay, empowered. All right. Let's see what questions we have to answer here, shall we? We still have some questions to answer. Let me see.
We definitely do.
David, you're back. All right.
So first of all, right before we jump to questions, just a quick reminder to folk that, first of all, Diana, crazy inspiring and tremendously informative. I've shredded a pad trying to keep up. So,
For the time we had.
Right. Well, thank God it wasn't 45 minutes. After you leave the webinar, remember you're going to get a survey that's going to pop up. Take a few seconds to answer it. Your feedback is incredibly important. It shapes what coaching.com offers you and how we support you. So please do. Now, here's some quick questions. Some of these are going to back up closer to the beginning. Karina asked, getting through, since the influx of businesses using spamming policies, it feels like it's harder to cut through the fray to be noticed, even in your connection requests. How do you rise above the spam? Oh, you're on mute, Diana.
Yeah,
There you go.
I would say, I mean, it's pretty easy for you to tell like the spam and those like who are not legit profiles. Like for me, my rule of thumb is, do we have mutual connections? Do they have a legit profile? Is their first message just trying to sell me? Like I get it every single day of those questions. So for me, like my rule of thumb is like, is this someone I want to know? Right. And is it someone I want to help other? If it is, then I would like start that in engagement other. So really you use your own judgment, right? Of how to build that. For me, I would say for those who are, there's a lot of coaches here, start with getting to know your fellow coaches. Like one of the philosophies you may think it's competition, but really my philosophy is collaboration over competition. Because here's the thing is as you continue to support each other, fellow coaches in your space, other people see that you're associated with them. And that elevates your credibility. And when you do collaborations, you also have both a bigger reach of audience as well. So I'm really big on that, like finding at least a handful of people that you want to support and collaborate with. This is something I do right now because I've been a career coach for over a decade, is I'll refer a lot of business to other coaches that are not the right fit for me now. And people love it. People love that,
Yeah,
right? And
we
referring
call
to
that
their business.
the coaching community is all about co-opetition. So
So
totally
there
with
you
you on
go.
that.
Yeah.
I had a couple people ask this. Jackie did, and a few others. What's the difference between personal versus business LinkedIn profile, and how do you
Yes.
approach using the other or both?
Yeah, great question. So the business one is more essentially like your company page. And so you can link it to that in your personal profile. It's good to have both. I would say I'm a lot more active on the personal profile just because people do with business with people that they actually know. And the business profile page, I would say for me, I use it for more case studies and testimonials or my offering. So it's a bit more business per se versus like just expertise content. I would say double down on your personal first, 90%. That's how people discover you.
Beautiful. Yeah, and there were a lot of questions about video. Look, I was told your first 6 videos are going to stink, so get out there and start stinking. But
Yes.
one of our anonymous users asked a question that I know is out there with a lot of folks. What if you don't like how you look on camera?
There's audio. There is audio.
Yeah.
Another is the audio version. I mean, we're gonna have so many of these what we call the saboteurs limiting beliefs in our mind of what we don't like. Even for me, like I was like I don't like how I sound, and I had to get over that, right? And so it's really a lot of it is putting in the reps there. Like when I look back at my videos 10 years ago, like I cringe, and it's because we suck at it. We're not good at it. But you're going to get better and better. And especially for those, I'm going to ask any of you who want to do more speaking, meaning like you want to do more corporate speaking, keynote speaking as also a coach, is doing videos or LinkedIn Lives is a great way to up your game, the visibility. That's what I did when I wanted to do more speaking, was hosting my own live stream show for like the last 3 years. And so you're doing long form content, which is different from short form content.
I imagine that can also distract you from. I was also told, how do you feel about hiding your preview when you're doing video? So you're not watching
Hiding.
yourself.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yes. Yeah, that's a good idea. I do that as well too. You can do that. You can put a post-it note if you like to hide that and just get yourself look at the camera. I have pictures of my kids behind the camera to remind me to look at the camera.
That's good.
Yeah.
So Jackie asked another question that I know is also out there because I've had clients talked about this as well. Jackie says her challenge is finding buying clients in corporate, right? So weeding through to get the decision makers at corporate. What can you share
Yeah.
about that?
But how to get into the corporate, who the decision makers are?
Challenge is
Yeah.
finding clients
The
in corporate.
buying. Oh, that's a good question. I love that. This is where it's just kind of go down a rabbit hole, right? Of really, I would say the way you can start is even start with those who oftentimes find people who are like in the ERGs, the employee resources group who run those. And you start from there and then you ask them who are the people who make the decisions as well. I mean, a lot of them I was even either start with the HR side, like people who run the L&D, learning development, talent management, or those in the business area there. But from my experience, it's typically at least half a dozen conversations to get to the right person. It's really rare that you're going to nail it right away. So I would say first, the way I like to think of it as a recruiter is, what type of industries are you targeting? What type of companies are you targeting? What type of functions are you targeting? Start there, and then you can start searching. Right? And see what type of people are commenting on your content as well, right? And you go down, it's kind of like go down a rabbit hole a bit, I would say. But once you have that, is you got to build the relationships, like through talking to people. It's not just through LinkedIn. LinkedIn is just a start.
On behalf of our attendees, because there's so many questions about what platforms and tools you use and which teleprompter, which video app. So I'd love to make a request on behalf of them, because we've got to jump to the closing bit, is maybe you could put together a downloadable list of all the different tools that you use on your LinkedIn, because they're like 8 questions that are asking what video, what teleprompter, what AI, and so on. So
I love it. I will create a list. I'll create a post. My assistant here, we're going to create a post on this, and I can do a LinkedIn Live to answer all the tech questions. You know what? I think that a lot of tech sometimes get overwhelm people as well. Yeah,
because there are too many choices. I think that helps.
Too many choices. But honestly, just start with your phone and post it.
Hey, this is a friendly reminder if you are an ICF member. Now that you reviewed this session recording, simply scroll down to the session resources below and find a 1-question quiz. Please complete it, and you will make sure that you have received the CC units for this session. And if you already attended this session live, you've already been granted the CC units for it, and you don't need to complete this quiz. That's all from me. See you next time. Bye-bye.